All right, Rob, this is what we said would happen all along. We knew that this would be long, dramatic. These proceedings would continue up until this point. And ultimately, we predicted that the president, of course, would be acquitted, as he has been today.
My first observation was that the acquittal was overwhelming. Let's make a point that this was not a 51 vote to remove the president. The Constitution sets forth that removal can only occur if you have 2/3 of the Senate vote to convict a president. And today's vote fell 18, 19 votes well short of that threshold. So this was soundly rejected under the standards set forth by the Constitution, and it was a strong acquittal of the president. It's also a huge failure by the House Democrats. Remember that Nancy Pelosi originally claimed that in order for there to be impeachment, there would have to be convincing evidence, overwhelming evidence, and bipartisan support. She never accomplished any of those, and I think that was reflected in the way that the Senate today disposed of the thin, weak allegations that the House in a partisan vote had sent over to the Senate. Now, I hope we can get back to the business of the American people.
Right, and I think you make an interesting point that this wasn't even close to conviction because it requires 2/3 of the Senate to reach that. Nancy Pelosi and the House managers and Chuck Schumer in the Senate, they knew that was unrealistic. They knew there was no chance, snowball's chance in hell that was going to happen. And yet they did this anyway. They used taxpayer money. They stopped the proceedings of the Senate, meaning the Senate's normal business, in order to throw this show trial, essentially. It was a political stunt from the very beginning, and it failed in a ball of fire. That is what this has amounted to. And Rob, the Democrats aren't going to stop here. They're not going to give up. Jerry Nadler is already saying that the House Democrats will, quote, likely subpoena John Bolton and continue with more investigations after today. Why is my question? Why would he do that when we live in a nation where if you are tried for a crime, you are not then retried for that same crime just because your opponents don't like the result of your first trial?